Okay, welcome to Avila Soccer. This is going to be a training video for trainers who may be coming on quickly without a lot of orientation. You're going to be expected to learn from this video and even test out on it so that you understand a little bit about what we're going to do this summer, 2012, about the camp, the all-you-can-eat soccer camp, about the purpose of Avila Soccer, its mission, its philosophy, a little bit about the history, and more importantly, how to function in each and every class and situation that you might encounter. So we're going to begin by talking about the history of Avila Soccer. We've been in Austin 9 years, and we've had the same summer format for about 4 years. Every year we've been sold out for summer. We have very high retention rates, and that's because we offer an alternative soccer approach. We use a participative, democratic model so that we're constantly engaging information from the clients. It's not dictatorial where you're just yelling commands at people and you're just kind of autocratic. This is going to be a pleasure and participation model. Do not confuse that for having a lack of resolve. And what I mean is it's got to be loosey-goosey, but they've got to improve. We have to have fun, but we also have to train with a sense of urgency. And finding that balance is going to be probably the most important part of your job, because if a child comes to Avila Soccer every single day for the entire summer, and you are too hard on them, or you're not creative enough in the way you deliver and render the sessions, we're going to have burnt out clients. In August, we won't even have anybody coming in. But when we hit August and kids are still bursting at the doors to get in, it means you're doing something right. And I'm going to be watching for that. Those retention rates are everything. First things first, what you need to know is that sessions have to be punctual. Okay? A betrayal of time is a betrayal of faith. These people have to get their day together just to get their kid over to us. You've got to honor and respect that. That means you start the sessions on time. When a session is over, make sure that there's a sort of a big finish to it. There's a sense that there's closure to the session. Push the kids, kind of get them to get out onto the lobby floor, and you have to kind of skirt the other kids into the field. You want to also get the kids started immediately so that we're not wasting time. A 45-minute session was originally, years ago, a 1-hour session. I realized we were wasting a lot of time and only using 45 minutes of that session. So about 4 years ago, we went to 45-minute sessions. If you're now wasting time again, they're really getting 30-minute sessions. And I don't care how good of a session you do, it's really hard to get improvement when you're wasting half of that with a long water break, or you're taking way too long to start a session. You've got to start the sessions quickly, and there has to be a definitive start to them. Don't give complicated drills in the beginning that require a lot of explanation. Things like back rolls or back passes or back heels or dribble halfway, turn and pass, things that don't require tremendous instruction. Also, they're not in the mode to receive yet. So just warm them up quickly and don't waste time. Secondly, the most important problem that we have in the summer is mixing age groups up. It's a very big problem. It's also probably, I estimate, the number one reason that we ever lose clients. It's because a 13-year-old girl gets pitted with an 8-year-old boy. And it could be a great session, creative, intense, but they just feel awkward. They don't feel like they're challenged, even though if an observer who was not sort of involved and just kind of looked, and maybe they might see that, yeah, it was an intense session. It was a quality session. It doesn't matter though, because you pitted them together, a group that's inappropriate to have together, and it makes people uncomfortable, and it's a number one reason they leave session. Now, with such a wide range of kids coming in, it's such a wide range. I mean, all you can eat, that's the name of our summer program. It's like a pass to come every day. There's going to be a lot of people who kind of mess that up, come at the wrong times, try to jump into sessions, try to crash sessions, and you may find yourself, reacting slowly. The number one thing you must be mindful of is to constantly make sure that people of like ability and experience are put together and similar age. Okay? And if you don't do that, we're going to have problems. I'm going to get a phone call. I'm going to, have to defend the trainer and the session, and that's going to make me uncomfortable. And I'm going to hold you accountable for that. You're not going to get a lot of warnings. I always support the trainer first, but don't put me in an uncomfortable position where I've got to defend your basically ineptitude. Okay? Because I'm telling you now, you have to be mindful. Also, we need certain visual principles. It's not enough to say, well, I got two 13-year-olds right here, and over here I have two 5-year-olds working together. Yeah, the 5-year-olds are together, and the 13-year-olds are together, but visually it doesn't look good. They still feel awkward by that. So when they enter the field, there's 3 trainers at all times. You have to divide the groups 3 ways so that there is a semblance of order. So that, like, let's say it's an 8 to 11-year-old group, 10s and 11-year-olds with one group, or maybe 9s and 10s together, maybe 8s and 9s together, but you don't put, the older with the younger, except in rare occasions where they're friends, they know each other, they're similar size, they have a history of working together. Basically, this is one of the most important things and problems that is sort of an epidemic at Avila, which we do not want to instigate now here at this new Lakeway facility or propagate at Anderson Mill. We want to nip this in the butt from the beginning. People are not going to start talking about how we just herd kids in, bringing them in like cattle. No, you have got to make clear that there's divisions on the field. Okay? We call this like a Kaizen principle, which is a visual principle, which means you can clearly see the older kids are over here. The middle-aged kids are here. The younger ones are over there. That has to happen. If you're not getting it done, you're not going to last here. I can tell you that. Okay, so make sure you understand that. I spent 5 minutes talking about this subject. It's important. Don't get it wrong. You're not going to get a lot of warnings. You'll be out of here. And I don't want that. What I want you to do is stay with this company, learn a lot about how there's a future for you here. If you do a good job, if you care about kids. Okay, caring about kids and proving it is 2 separate things. That's our next subject, mental endurance. Okay, the next subject that we're going to talk about, and there are 9 subjects, is mental endurance. Mental endurance has to do with the fact that we don't want you to just put kids through the motions. They can get that at popular kids clubs. They can get that at the playground. They can get that at parent-run soccer practices. When they come to Avila Soccer, when you step on the field with those children, you must always be present with the client. That is a guiding principle of Avila Soccer. Present with the client. That means that you are watching, you are not on your cell phone, you're not thinking about your texts, okay, you're not thinking about life outside of Avila. When you step on the field, you are present with the client, and that means you are meticulous in the delivery and how you render the session. If you ask them to do something, and you've given them the information clearly, and you feel like they encoded that information, so those 2 things have been accomplished, now there's a sense of let's hold them accountable. If it's something that they already know how to do, for example, they know how to make a pass because they're an advanced kid. You ask them to do a passing drill, and now they're not doing the passing drill with the proper form, and you let that go. That's a lack of mental endurance part, because what you should have done is gone up to them, said, hey, your toe is not up, your knee is not bent, okay? You're not coming through the ball flat. Whatever the issue may be, you're not floating your knee at the end. Whatever it is that they're not doing properly, that you're just letting go. That can't happen. You can't just let it go because, hey, okay, I got this group started, let me go watch this group, or let me go see these guys. If someone is doing something incorrectly, a quiet, quick correction, calmly. Hey guy, remember, we asked you to do it like this, okay, toe up, okay, knee bent, float through it, okay, next, and move on. Come back, ask them again if they're not doing it, maybe a little bit more forcefully. But you've got to have quiet, quick corrections constantly. It's a sign and mark of a great coach. And if you just don't have that in you, you don't have that type of mental endurance to spend the entire time present with the client, watching, maybe this isn't a career for you. It's by far the hardest part of this job is being present with the client, the mental endurance to constantly correct. Now, don't confuse that with letting them flow. Sometimes you got to let kids flow, let them kind of make some mistakes on their own, let there be, a little bit of chaos within a certain boundaries of what's acceptable. Okay, you can't stop them and over micromanage every moment. But if you give them general directions, they have to have some type of approximation of what you ask them to do. What I don't want is to reinforce bad habits. Where a kid, maybe takes a shot and points their toe in the air like this every time, and you don't stop it. You just let them point that toe. They come up and do that every time. Next, kid comes and hits it like that. Next kid comes, and clearly that's not an acceptable violation. That's not an approximation of a proper shot. That's an acceptable standard. okay? Because it means you didn't teach them the concept of locking their ankle down, pointing their toe down, getting their knee over the ball, whatever the mechanical principle that's missing, you've got to get there and say, hey, remember this? Just give them a friendly reminder. You don't have to be mean about it. Just show that you're watching, show that you care, use your own creative impulses and your own natural charisma to get the point across that it matters. If you're not doing that constantly throughout the session, this may not be the career for you. Mental endurance is important. And I can always tell a coach with great mental endurance because we get the most compliments, the kids love them, because the kids love soccer, and you love soccer, you are sticking with it, you are focused on it, and by default, they love you. So I get the most compliments on trainers who have that mental endurance. And I'll know if you know you're inadequate, if you're not doing the job, if you just don't have it, I'll know that real quick. You're gonna have to go. Won't get a warning. Certainly gonna try to encourage you and watch you, but if you just don't have that, or you may have some of it, but you just don't have enough of it, it's not the career right now for you. You're not ready. Okay, so today we've talked a little bit about time management, the idea of starting classes on time, being punctual. We also talked about mental endurance, okay, the idea of being meticulous, holding kids accountable, don't just let them go through the motions. A little bit later, we're going to talk about common Avila skills and common Avila drills. But right now, the next thing we're going to talk about is sales. From time to time, as a trainer, you're going to be asked to hand out flyers. This is an example of a flyer that's got the Avila brand. Here's an example of one we did last week. It says, bring a friend to Avila and keep training for free. So basically, this was a sort of a deal there. We asked the trainers to hand that flyer out at the end of each session. And basically the idea was that, okay, it's May and a lot of people are not signed up for lessons in May. If they wanted to bring someone who's never been here, they themselves could keep training in May for free. So it was a promotion. From time to time, you'll see promotions. Some of them will be small, like this sort of little purple one that I have here, which is about our 5v5 indoor league. But at the end of sessions, you'll be asked to talk about those promotions. You, as the trainer, are the face of the business. You represent the business. So you're the best person to talk about a promotion. We tend to use email marketing as our primary means of communication and marketing. Yeah, there is a place for printed media. There is a place for handing out a flyer, and you are the one who's going to execute that. So from time to time, we're going to hand you a flyer. We expect you to sell. That means, again, you were chosen for this job because you have certain qualities. Exquisite skills, great people skills, a certain charisma. We expect you to use that, improvise, and sell the different propaganda or whatever, to use a less emotive word, the different marketing tools that we're going to hand you. We expect you to get those ideas and principles in the heads of the kids. Maybe we're going to have a lockdown where they get to stay the night at overnight. Or maybe we're going to have a movie night. Maybe there's going to be a parents' night out once a week on Saturday night. And we're going to ask you to remind the kids at the end of the session, by the way, hey, next Saturday, guess what? Instead of having your parents get a babysitter, tell them to come to Avila Soccer, drop you off here. It's less expensive, and we're going to have all these cool soccer activities. And the kids will kind of get riled up when they see you riled up. And the whole idea is you do have, as part of your job description as a summer soccer trainer at Avila Creative Soccer, is to use your own creativity to sell the different marketing materials that we're going to hand you. And this cannot be, overstated. You have to understand that this is a business and you have to sell. And it's incumbent upon all the trainers and the staff to chip in and do their part, especially you, the face of the business. Okay, so I said that there'd be 9 topics, and we talked a little bit about some of them already. We said Avila drills will be done at the end, and Avila skills. Those are 2 categories. We talked about mental endurance already. We talked about punctuality, or what we call time management. And we talked a little bit about sociology, how we have a democratic participative style. That's actually a whole category, sociology. So we're going to take a moment now to discuss that. And it's truly something that sets us apart. And you better get this. It says Avila Creative Soccer right in the title. It sets us apart because, in many ways, what kids are experiencing is a total lack of creativity. In many ways, in Western sport, it's an epidemic where all the decisions are being made by adults. That includes referees, that includes parents, that includes coaches, and there's sort of like a lack of decision making from kids. Also, we're telling them exactly how to zig and exactly how to zag, and every single type of like movement that there is, we're telling them exactly how to do it, and there's not any like sort of free playing and creative fervor that comes from the natural genius and wonderment of children. So what I'm saying is that, in a nutshell, kids are experiencing a very formalized form of soccer at the club level. Okay, even kids who just play rec soccer. What we're trying to do here is an alternative to that, where they feel like they have the ability to create, to take ownership of sessions. If a kid makes a suggestion at Avila Creative Soccer, you better take that seriously. You're expected not to necessarily change your lesson plan, but to see, using your down in the trenches experience, because you played your whole life and you're an expert, that's why you're here, to sort of improvise and bring the suggestion of the kid into the lesson plan. You're expected to do that. So when a kid speaks, you have to listen, take it seriously. What you will see that happens is that they're now going to see, wow, I'm an equal, wow, I'm going to take ownership now of this session. And they do. They do the session better. They tend to also start to direct other kids, which is also a great side effect. And that's what we want sports to do. As Americans and people around the country or around the world, they put their children in sports and they hope that sports will teach certain characteristics. It's like statesmanship, like how to talk to others, how to be assertive. You find that, well, if we take their suggestions seriously, they begin to like step up, take ownership. They start to guide other kids, and so on and so forth. So it's a type of sociology. So that's not to say that you shouldn't have structure. This is not some non-directed play therapy. You have to have structure, you have to put it forth. But as kids begin to engage you back, use their suggestions. Again, the most important thing is that creative coaching is the key. You cannot do humdrum drills where kids are standing on lines. And consider that illegal. If there's more than 3 kids on a line, like that is grounds for getting fired from Avila Creative Soccer. Any parent, no disrespect, can run a session like that. You've got to be creative. Try to do things that involve unit play. You will see some of the Avila drills where we're working on several things in one drill. The quality that you'll see is unit play, that the drills are dependent on each other. Usually there'll be 4 or 5 kids in a drill. And we're basically going to try to always use participative skills in drills so that the kids get a sense of teamwork. Another thing, anytime you can make something more interactive and more participative, do it. Okay? So that if someone is passing against the wall, no, maybe it's better to get them a partner and pass with a partner. Or if, maybe you want to play games that involve much more interaction. The use of games is very, very important at Avila Creative Soccer. If you can use props like maybe garbage cans or tennis balls, okay, or a tennis net, any types of props, but using games, hybrid sports like soccer tennis or soccer golf, creative means to achieve an ends. Don't feel bound by traditional, conventional ways that coaches train. Studies show that 80% of all drills used by outdoor coaches on club soccer teams have something to do with going to goal. And that's just crazy, okay? There's so much more artistry involved in soccer. You'll notice we don't even have goals at Avila Soccer anywhere. I mean, we certainly want kids to be competitive if they choose to be, but we're taking that out of the equation here, okay? So don't, put kids in situations where you're constantly comparing them. Get them in the habit of challenging themselves. Friendly competition through little games is certainly fun, and it's something you can use to motivate, but, we don't have, a competitive model here. This is a pleasure and participation model. It's not a power and performance model. It's not about going to goal. Are there drills that we can do to teach them to go to goal? Yes, but we also want to work on vision, on coordination, on rhythm, on creative moves, okay? All the things that involve more artistry. Your focus has got to get away from competition. So in a nutshell, what I'm telling you is Competition is something you want to get away from. Creative soccer is what you need to focus on. Finally, one of the things we try to do is end with something I call Madhouse. Some of the trainers call it the big finish. Anytime this end of the session comes, you want to try to end a little bit early so that you can find some participative drill. Participative meaning it's some type of drill that they do that involves them having to interact with another trainer, or another player. For example, let's say you end the soccer practice and you say, all right, everybody on the wall, we're going to finish with 3 wind sprints. That's good. I mean, you're leaving them, there's a sense of closure, they're leaving here, pink and sweaty. All those things are good, but you can do it even better than that. You can say, let's have a wheelbarrow race. So the partners go, and one guy's got the 2 legs like this, and the other guy's doing bear crawls there, and then they switch and come back. What's happening, that's going to get a much better rise out of the kids because it forces them to participate with each other, and it's fun, and it's whimsical, and it still has the same sort of purpose, which is to get them to understand the session's over, we had a fun time today. And they go into the lobby jazzed up. That's an example of using sociology versus a straight, let's do 5 wind sprints. Any type of company can tell kids to do wind sprints. This is Avila Creative Soccer. We set the standard. We offer that alternative, which is in keeping with the way the game was played, which is socially. Kids would go to the town square, they'd find their friends, and they would have fun. So I want you to understand that when the kids are having fun, you're doing something right. In fact, don't be sort of intimidated if the kids are a little loosey-goosey. It's a sign that you're doing things correctly. The sociological studies clearly show that when kids render sports on their own without adult supervision, 4 qualities are constantly seen. And they went to all the major continents and many countries, and they studied kids without being detected with cameras to see what were the qualities of their sports games. And one thing you always see in a kid's soccer practice where there's no adults is action. There's lots of action. They are moving around, they're having fun, nobody's standing around. 2, there tends to be equality in the sense that there's equal teams. So like if one team has 2 older kids, it's against 6 little kids. Or, if one team, maybe has 1 less player, the other team's goal is much bigger, and that one team goal is smaller. There's a sense of equality that you always see. Okay? 3, there's a sense of participation. No children suffer the stigma of being on the bench. So when kids' sports are rendered by children themselves, there's action, there's equality, there is participation. Okay? In other words, you don't have 5 kids standing on a line not participating because you can't run a drill that's dynamic. Hence, we're going to show you dynamic drills and show you what an Avila drill is and the qualities of Avila drills later. Right now, understand the 4th quality. Kids use sports as opportunities to reaffirm their friendships. That gets back to my earlier point. If they're having fun, they're talking to each other, they're a little loosey-goosey, guess what? You've done something right. Of course, everything has its limits. Let them be loosey-goosey at times, but also keep the sessions running, have structure to them. So what we want is those same principles. We want drills that have action. We want kids participating, not standing on lines. We want it to be generally equal. Hence, you put kids of equal ability together. And we want them to feel like they can express themselves and have fun and be with their friends. That this is their place where they get to reaffirm those friendships. So understand we're operating on a totally different level here than what a lot of kids are getting at their club. You have to understand that. Understand Avila sociology. I'm going to ask you what are the 4 principles of a session and why. And you better get it right because that's what sets us apart. So far we've talked about several subjects and we're about halfway through. Next thing what we want to talk about is operational procedures. Okay, what we mean by this is that there's certain professional ways that you need to act if you're going to be a trainer here, policies and procedures that you've got to follow if you want everybody to chip in, do a good job, and have an existence at work which is friendly and convenient and works for everybody. Okay, biggest thing you've got to understand is that it's everyone's responsibility to clean. That means wiping down surfaces, emptying garbages. It means that you've got to look around and see what needs tidying up, throw out garbage that's laying around the facility, that, like an old water bottle, plastic water bottles, things like that. And you take ownership of making sure that the lobby in particular and the field are tidy at all times. Okay, that's a big deal. That's an operational procedure, and it's about taking initiative. Okay, not waiting for other people to do everything. Another big one is asking for time off. Okay, you need to give us a minimum of a week and preferably 2 weeks notice when there's an issue with you not being there in the summer. This is sort of a business that it prides itself on the prime ratio, meaning 6 kids to every trainer. If you do not give us proper notice that you're not going to be there and we don't have coverage for you, you're going to cause us to violate that prime ratio, okay? And that's a violation of integrity, because we're promising the parents, okay, a certain amount of personal attention, but because you don't give us notice, okay, and you're not here when you say you're going to be here, okay, you're causing us to go back on our word, and now we've got to kind of, deal with that. That's not cool. It's not the sign of a professional company. If you're someone who violates this type of thing and is going to be unorganized, you're going to find that you will not get 2 and 3 warnings. You're getting your warning right now. Don't show up late. Don't miss sessions. Don't tell us at the last minute. You've got to be organized, and that's just how we have to operate. If you've got to go in the summer, you got to go. We got to put someone who can replace you, who we can count on, because there's some 800 clients, and there's high pressure, and you've got to pitch in and be reliable. Another thing is that if you do need time off, there's a chain of command. You can ask a supervisor like Lincoln, or even Abel, or you can even talk to someone like Eric, the other Eric Carrillo, or you can talk to Rachel directly, who is in many ways a liaison to me. But whatever you do, you need to try to find coverage for yourself. So if you need an evening off, that could work. But first, see if you can get someone to cover for you. Try to work it out amongst the staff. And heck, there's 13 trainers. There's not a reason why you can't possibly, get some time off from work that you need if you're clever about it and can engage some of the other trainers. There's a call list, and you can use that. But that's part of our operational procedures, understanding chain of command and understanding that we need time and notice, sufficient notice. Okay? So cleaning is a big deal. Understanding that when you leave, all the ACs, that's the third one. Understanding that everything is shut down properly. That means the ACs are off, and the fans, the AC and the fan. And if you don't know how to do it, ask someone to show you. Especially the Lakeway facility has a complicated system. Okay, all the doors are locked and the field is tidy. We can't come in the next day and the fan's been left on all night. If it breaks down, there's no AC in a Texas hot summer. You're responsible for making sure these things are done. Finally, you need to show up early, 15 minutes early before your shifts, and make sure that there's someone there. At the end of the day, if one kid is late and getting picked up, and you got to make sure that there's some full-time staff member there. Okay, you can't just say, let a kid wait outside. I know that should be common sense, but I'm telling you, okay, in terms of opening and closing, you got to be here 15 minutes early. You have to wear all black. You've got to wear your Avila shirt. Also, here's the last thing I'm going to tell you. Your socks are up. There are no exceptions on this rule. You have to have your socks up. You can't wear tennis socks for running shoes, because it's a symbol that you're active, that you're participative, and you're not some, trainer with a clipboard just pointing at people. So you got to wear your uniform. You've got to have socks up. You've got to get here 15 minutes early. You have to make sure that every kid has been picked up by their parent or guardian. You got to make sure when you ask for time off that you do so in a professional way, which gives us notice. And you've got to make sure that all surfaces are clean, all ACs are turned off, and that you've taken some initiative. We've talked about several topics today that you're going to need to be proficient at this summer if you sign on as a trainer. Actually, if you were to be here during the school year as well, or any of our camps for that matter. We're still going to go over some skills, some of the drills and scrimmaging techniques that we use. But right now, we're going to elaborate a little bit more on the subject of management of large groups. That's one of the 9 subjects you're going to be judged on, is your management and your ability to control and facilitate a large group. In particular, this is a very important skill in the summer, because in the summer we often have 20 to 30 kids in one single group. And if there's 2 other trainers in there, you could have as many as 15 kids to yourself alone, or 10 kids to yourself alone. It's very hard, and you've got to be able to do this. So we're going to go over a couple things you can use to help you get through this. In particular, understanding that changing the topic frequently is one way to manage a large group, especially if you have kids with certain sort of lack of an ability to focus. One of the ways that we deal with that issue, sort of that hyperactivity, is to constantly change the task. It's also creative, because you're going from one thing to the next thing. Don't expect that they should get something immediately, but rather by the end of the summer. So move on to several topics. Next, one of the ways that we manage a large group is, again, to make sure that you have group kids together of equal ability and experience. Also, you have volunteer skills trainers there. If there is a kid in particular who has some disruptive quality about them, that is a good opportunity to isolate that behavior in that person without being sort of obvious about it, with one of our volunteer skills trainers who have been trained in this issue. So that if there's 3 trainers, you're one of them, think of it as like there's sort of a 4th trainer there too, and you divide the groups into 3 sort of age groups, and then maybe that one kid who may be having a bad day, may be having a low focus day, put them with the trainer and they can kind of help with that. So understanding how to use the volunteer skills trainers is very important. So learn their names, interact with the volunteer skills trainers, get them to do their job, which is the reason they're here, is to help us have a fluid session. One of the things about managing large groups is that you do drills that also are interactive, so that if you have 3 types of kids, one's extremely advanced, one's a little less advanced, and one's newer, try to come up with drills and use drills that teach to the bell curve, where all of them can kind of do it. If you're in a situation where it's just so much differentiation and they just cannot do interactive drills, make sure, this is the biggest and most important thing, that you acknowledge that, and you say, look, these kids are too different. I can't put them to do drills. One kid's too good. One kid can't even kick a ball. If you're in that situation and they're the same age, those kids, what you have to do is do a solitary session. What I mean by that is everyone must have their own ball. The number one decision you have to make regarding management of large groups is this a solitary session or is this an interactive session? Whenever possible. We are a participative model. We are a democratic model. That means we want to always go for drills that involve interaction. But it's incumbent upon you as the trainer to make that call and say, this group just can't work together because one kid is so advanced, he's going to be turned off. And they're the same age, they go to the same club, but they just don't have the same abilities, and say this is an interactive session. So the number one thing you have to understand is this going to be a class where everyone has their own ball, or is this going to be a class where they're doing interactive drills? And that has got to get in your head. I'm going to ask you about this later. I'm going to tell you what's the most important decision you make when it comes to management of large groups. And you're going to need to be able to tell me, is this a solitary group? Is this a participative group? That's the decision that you make. Whenever possible, try to get them to work together. But don't do it at the expense of boring some kids or putting kids in over their head. And if you have to, make sure everyone's got their ball, and you keep giving them drills and skills that involve just them using their own ball. This way they come out of there individually challenged, okay, versus as a collective. The drill that we're doing here, we refer to it as Barcelona because it looks very much like that possession style game that Barcelona plays. Okay. Let's start from the beginning, guys. Okay, set it up. And these are the starting spots. When you make the drill happen, make sure that The center person, which is Julian, is facing the gray wall. That Lincoln, who's in the white cleats, is facing in a perpendicular way, and that the person who starts with the ball is halfway through the square on the outside, which is going to be Abel. Abel will use pass technique to give him the ball, to give the ball to JC. JC will pass it back. Then he'll come inside the cone. Abel will pass it there. Stop. Now, this is the hard part. Abel will now back up around that cone and take the center position and face this way and wait. JC, we call this duck, duck, goose, will now pass the ball to Julian and go around duck, that cone, duck, that cone, goose, and stop. He will face the gray wall, okay, on the outside. Julian will pop, and this is another problem area. He's going to pop after he passes the ball to Lincoln. Wait. He's going to pop straight forward, okay? That will allow Abel to slip into that position, and he's not going to back up. He's going to stay in the middle there, Julian. Now Lincoln hits him the ball, comes inside. Julian will hit the ball, and now Julian backs up, comes into the center, and takes his old spot back, but now faces the opposite direction. Lincoln will do the duck, duck, goose maneuver. One, duck, duck, goose. He's on the outside perpendicular. Now, you can see the drill done more quickly. Go. The drill is working on passing and moving and technique and unit play and fitness, and also rotary momentum. The point of the drill is to teach certain qualities in a dynamic way. That means teaching rotary momentum as they're having to turn around the cones, teaches passing technique, it's fitness, teaches unit play, and more importantly, it teaches the idea of passing and moving. In the final stage, the trainers will actually get rid of the cones. And they will simulate the drill again. They'll do the drill again. And in this way, it's great because it feels a lot more like real soccer. Okay, set, go. Quicker, guys. If you can, too, try to speed it up. And we call this Barcelona. Now, perhaps you can see why it very much looks like an approximation of one of their soccer games. Okay. All right, good. This is a three-man weave. Pass and follow your move. The ball should go forward, diagonally forward. Okay? Why would we do this simple drill? Forward. Because we need to get their heart rates up quickly. It's not as hard to explain. It's also working with an odd number, meaning 3. It's hard to find drills that involve only 3. Also, it's an addicting drill in that they tend to keep trying to get it more perfect. Okay, so this is the three-man drill. You pass and follow, pass and follow, pass and follow. Okay, this drill is called sideways on. The purpose of the drill is to teach opening the body up for success. That means when Julian comes through, he opens his body up, and as the center midfielder, he can see the right midfielder and he can see the left midfielder because he's sideways on. The same mirror image thing is going to happen as he makes the pass through. Watch. Pass, sideways on, pass, go back. Pass, sideways on, and see how he's opened his body up. Go, faster. This is, again, an interactive drill. It teaches rotary momentum. It teaches passing technique. It teaches passing and moving. It teaches fitness. It teaches unit play. It's dynamic. It's closed. And it keeps going on and on. It's a closed drill. Stop. Another thing. the purpose of the sideways on position is that if the ball comes in to me and I'm marked by Julian, I can easily pass the ball back like that, right? Or if Julian isn't here, I can let the ball pass me and immediately get into a position to pass it forward. So sideways on positioning is the mark of a great center midfielder, a great forward, okay? They're ready to either attack or distribute and reset. Okay, this drill is particularly difficult to master. The first thing we're going to do is pass the ball right and run left, and they maintain the diamond. Go back, do it again. First step is to pass the ball right and go left. Go. Stop. Okay, so you understand that. Next move is to return the ball to the center of the diamond and switch with that person. And the ball will be passed to the back of the diamond. Stop. And they have switched positions, but they still maintain the diamond. Go back 2 steps to the beginning. Okay, they start in the diamond. Ball will be passed to the right. They will switch diamond, but they're still in a diamond shape. Now, the person who's at the top of the diamond, raise your hand, will pass the ball to the back of the diamond, raise your hand, okay? But we'll switch with the left side of the diamond, raise your hand. Who will switch with the top of the diamond? Go. Stop. So they've maintained the diamond. Go back to the beginning, get to that point. Ready, set, go. Okay. Now, this time, the person on the right side of the diamond will come around the back side of the back of the diamond, and this person will do what we call a penguin pull, which is brushing the ball with toes out. And they will do a semicircle. This is the hardest thing to remember when you're teaching it. They're going to make a semicircle run. Go, Lincoln. Okay. Now this person who has come around behind Lincoln when Lincoln was at the back of the diamond will continue his run on. Okay. As such, he stays. Okay. Now the center person, which is Abel, will begin to pivot and face the left side of the diamond. The pass comes in. You'll continue your run around. Now, the center person pivots out here and passes the ball, then pivots to the center and faces Lincoln. The ball will come in from the left. Okay? Hit Lincoln, who will now pass to Abel. Abel will now pivot the other way and hit JC. Lincoln will step out of the way, and the ball will come here. Lincoln, step the other way next time. Okay? Just turn like this out of the way. Okay, try it again. As that ball goes out, he'll turn toward us. The ball comes across. Lincoln will chase it. Abel will follow his pass. JC will follow his pass. Julian will hit the wall and get behind Lincoln to the top of the diamond. And once again, back roll comes in, Lincoln turns around, and it repeats because, again, Abel is on the left, JC's on the right, Lincoln's at the back, and Julian's at the front. Okay, let's watch the drill live. Make sure you can teach this drill. Go. Thank you. Okay, watch this drill. This is another 3-man drill, somewhat advanced. Go. Nice spin. Stop. Okay, let's see what they're doing. Go back, Julian. Watch. Slowly, Julian hits the ball. Abel spins out as he passes left to his right shoulder, goes around JC with speed. Julian hits, gets it back, waits, And then stop. This is the hard part. Julian will take that position. Stop. And this is the hard part. The ball comes through the middle and immediately back so that they're beating this cone here as a player. They're beating it with a 1-2. And once the ball comes through, this guy's going to get beat. I'll represent this guy. Go. Go. I got beat. Stop. Now to reset, JC hits it and immediately backs up. And stop. They've reset the drill. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Back up. Stop. They reset. Now, there's a lot of extra touches. This is also very Barcelona-esque, what they call the tiki-taka. Tiki-taka for us means that they're playing it straight at each other in simple 2-yard passes. Try it again. Go. Pass. Do spin out. Fast. That's it. Some tiki-taka. Tiki-taka. Reset. Spin out. Okay? Through, 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 through. Spin. Unlucky. Start it again. Good spin. Okay, stop. Okay, now we're going to do a simpler version of this, okay, where we take the tiki-taka part out. That can really be difficult. It certainly is difficult. Barcelona doesn't make it look difficult. But we're going to do a 3-man drill where the overlapping run still occurs, and that's important tactically. That's why we claim that Avila drills tend to teach tactics. Watch Abel as he spins really hard out, and this time he gets all the way to Julian's spot really quickly. Forward. That's it. Go. Watch Julian. He has a good spin out. That's it. That's it. Okay. Okay. Stop. Next drill. Let's show them the 4-man switching drill. Okay? This is another drill that we want you to watch so that you have an advanced drill you could use with kids. Ready, Lincoln? Trap it and let JC have it. You run through, Julian. Go. Stay. Go, Lincoln. Stop. There it is. Good. You trap it, let the person come around. No, Abel, stop the ball. Go. Julian, go. That's it. He switches. So you trap and switch. Traps, switch. Trap, switch. 1, 2. Trap, switch. Trap, switch. 1, 2. 1, 2. Trap, switch. Trap, switch. 1, 2. Trap, switch. Trap, switch. 1, 2. 1, 2. Trap, switch. Trap, switch. Okay. That's one. Good. All right. All right. This is the 5-man drill. Let's. Okay. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Try it again. Okay. Let's just move it. All right. You guys refreshed? You guys refreshed? You got it? All right. Spread out a little. Okay. They start in a diamond shape. Come forward, Link. Come forward, JC. It's set. And then there's another person out here, which is me, who kind of does a sneak attack around the back of the diamond. Okay? Go. Bam, 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 bam. I come around. I come through. Ball goes there. Tiki-taka to me. I hit. I circle back around. And we're back to the diamond. Stop. Again. 1, 2, 3. I circle around. I come out here. Tiki-taka. Hits me. That was supposed to hit me. I circle around. I come back out wide. Let them set their diamond up. Okay, let's keep going faster now. Go. Quicker, guys. Come on. Tiki-taka. All right, stop. That's the 5-man drill. All right, JC represents the other team. Lincoln represents what you should be doing as a trainer when you get in a scrimmage, which is to switch the point of attack as laterally as possible. JC will pressure. You'll see how Lincoln keeps drawing JC in, and JC keeps getting drawn in. Watch. Go. Lincoln's job is to switch that point of attack quickly. Notice he tries to one-touch if at all possible. Stop. Okay. So the point is, your number one job when you scrimmage is to switch the point of attack laterally. You don't want to be forcing through balls too many times. What we're trying to do is get the forwards, the wingers, to come back and support Lincoln and get rid of it quickly. Okay? That is kind of the motion that we're looking for. Okay, now start from further in the field where you first steal it from JC. Okay, let's say that JC has the ball and Lincoln steals it from him. And these guys get upfield. Okay, Lincoln steals it, play. Okay, now they break. Okay, immediately the two other players, they broke back. Okay, so let's say that you take it and dribble all the way up, okay? Dribble up, go up. Go up. Wait, JC, come back and mark. Now, if he passes to Lincoln, his next move is to go back. JC, you got to work. Show them how it's done. Dribble. Dribble up, dribble up. He's not stopped. Okay, in this situation, we want to have Abel, who's standing in no man's land. He's not really up and he's not really back. Okay? We want strong distinctions. Give Lincoln the ball. Get back. Get back. That's good. Now dribble. Give it back to him. Get back. Yeah, now he dribbles up. I'm trying to get him to dribble, but I don't think he can hear me. Play. Now cut it back. Stop. Now, in this situation, the blind side. Julian, move back where you were. Stop. Thank you. In this situation, if he passes the ball back, okay, he himself is going to sprint back, but so will the blind side. Go. JC, play. That's it. Okay, and again, he goes up, comes back, and watch the blind side. Abel is back. You see that? Stop. Very good speed. So Abel on the blind side broke back really fast. Okay, so they're going up and down as a unit. Even though Julian came really fast, there was a quick cut from the far side from Abel. That's what we need. That's what we want. That's what you should be teaching the kids. Okay, to get up and down the field as a unit. Next, Coach Lincoln, his suggestion that we do some overlapping. So basically, we teach overlapping in a particular way at Avila. The person who is immune from overlapping is always going to be the sweeper and the person at the top of the diamond. So here, okay, let's just say that JC is at the top of the diamond and we have one team of 4. Okay? So JC gets the ball. These 4 guys are attacking that way. Okay? Now, if JC hits the ball to Lincoln, he should go left or right. Okay, 2 steps. Go. Okay, that's fine. Okay, or he can do the other way. Go. Pass it back, move the other way, right? All right, so that's basically the function of the top of the diamond. If one of the outside midfielders hits the ball, their job is to overlap. The person who passes it to the sweeper from the outside, who hits it first, must overlap behind the sweeper. The person who is on the blind side will overlap in front of the sweeper. Let's give them an example. Okay, give the ball. Okay, give the ball out wide. Okay, now if Julian hits Lincoln, Julian runs behind Lincoln, and we saw Abel didn't lose any time. Again, that's what we're looking for, that quality that Abel was on the far side and he broke across without losing time. Now, if Julian hits one of the other players, that's fine. But let's say that JC hits it back. JC doesn't overlap. He just gets left or right. Or he can come back. Do it again. He'll go left and right and back. Left, right, back. That's what he's doing. But any of the outside players are going to overlap, and Lincoln can choose to continue the ball across or switch it back the way it came. Demonstrate that overlap, guys. Go, JC. Okay, again, give it back. Keep playing. Just keep playing. That's it. Good. Okay. Okay, so why did Abel run across? He ran across because Julian passed it to Lincoln. What happens if Abel passes the ball to Lincoln? Go. Then he runs behind. Julian comes across. Okay? Let's say that Abel, give the ball back to Abel. Let's say that Abel passes the ball to Julian. He stays where he is. If Julian hits Lincoln, he goes behind. So whoever passes the ball goes behind. Let's demonstrate it quickly. JC, you can play too. That's it. That's it. That's it. Okay. And it's, notice when Lincoln passes the ball, okay, that's not when people overlap. Watch JC hit Lincoln the pass. Right? Now Lincoln's passing a stop. They don't overlap. Only when they hit it back to him do they overlap. One more time, go. Everybody playing. Let's go. Everybody playing. Okay, that was a slow reaction. Let's try it again, guys. Quicker. That's it. That's it. That's it. Lincoln chose to switch the point of attack. Very good. Again, Lincoln's job is to switch the point of attack. These are the scrimmaging skills you need to understand. You need to know how to teach overlapping. The passer goes behind. The blindside winger comes up front. Your job is to play the sweeper whenever possible when you're playing scrimmaging with kids and switch that point of attack laterally. Make sure the kids come back to support instead of running forward. That's the basic gist of it. Thanks. Passing, basically what we're looking for is, in this section, is we're going to explain to you how we explain certain drills. If Abel and I are sitting down, it forces our ankle to be perpendicular to our shin. See how we're sitting down? Okay. The ankle is bent up, okay, and the knee is bent. That's what we're looking for. The point of contact is going to be on the actual ankle bone. Okay, so go like this to the child. Show them right on that bone. That's where they want to hit it. Okay, pass. Okay, and then float your leg up. Float it up. Okay. Again, hit with the ankle in a perpendicular fashion. So that would be like that. The point of contact is on the ankle. This represents the ankle. That's flush. You don't want to hit it here on the toes because that's going to betray you. This represents the toes. This represents the ankle. Hit it on the ankle and float it up. Reach it back. Ankle, float it up. Toes up, knees up. Okay, as we stand up, you can see it better now. Okay. Point of contact is the ankle, the toe, and the knee come up. Reach back, pop it up, reach back, float it up. Okay? You should be perpendicular. And you sting low like a bee and float up like a butterfly. It's backwards from Muhammad Ali, right? Sting, float. Okay? Hard and float it up. Okay, you want to reach back, pop it up. Okay, so, again, we don't want the toe down. A lot of kids will do this. But as you can see visually, the ball could roll over my foot if I do that. Okay? So you don't want that toe down, you want it up. Toes up. Okay, that's good. Penguin pulls. A penguin pull is a whimsical name that we put for a type of ball brush that we do only at Avila, or we focus on at Avila. It's a ball brush where your toes, instead of ball brushing with your toes forward, like this, we create a line, part of what we call line theory. And the toes are out. Forcing, if you look up, forcing the hip flexors open. hip flexor open. And you have to respect the line and stay there. This is a skill we teach. We call it a penguin pull. Watch. As they get more advanced, we'll actually do a penguin pull roll where he's going to push it forward. While he's running, he's going to keep his toe forward and roll it back to me. Go. Okay? So I come. I'll do it righty for you. Come like this. And I back out of the way. Go. Okay? So you're going to take the right foot, cross it, and pull it penguin pull style. Ba. Okay, back up. Go. That's it. Okay? So I'm going to do 3 of them now. 1, 2, 3. It could even be a dribble style. Go. 3 of them. Nice. 1, 2, 3. Look, he didn't even step down. That could be a more advanced way. But for intermediates, let them step, go after it, rotate around, and back up. Okay? Do the intermediate one. He steps, rotates, goes after it, accelerate after it, keep your line straight, right? Ba, ba. You want them to jump. Okay, see how I jump away out of the line. Go. We call this move happy birthday because it's like I'm saying a happy birthday. You know, kind of like happy birthday. Wait, that's not your present. So what you want to do is stay on the inside from heel to toe. Okay? From under to up, from front, from back to front. 3 things happening at once. It's an illusion. Okay? So, oh, let it go. Let me try it again. I knew I wasn't going to do it like I did it that one time. But there you go. Okay? See if you can go faster. I know, it's a little slippery. The grass is new. That's better. Good. And try to stay inside of it. I'm doing like Abel where I'm trying not to get on top of it. See if you can stay inside as long as possible, meaning on that side of the ball. Good. Good. See if you, stay. Don't go on top. That's good. Oh. Stay. See, yeah, that's better. Okay. So you're staying, and at the last second you go on top. The other way, that way, we call that never mind. Okay? So if I go here, I pull it back, I go down, skid, pull it back. Okay, so happy birthday. Wait, that's not your present. Never mind. Okay? And you could even sort of in slow motion see it. I go, I step, I skid, I stay on this side. Wow, that's a slippery ball. And I pull it back. Again, skid, back, skid, back, skid, back. Okay? Bah. Okay? Try that. Or at least try the, yeah. From the side angle. Nice. We always want to try to stay inside of it though, on this side of the ball. Not to the top if possible because we'll lose balance. Okay, that's a cool move. The next one we call this a half tornado. Ball brush, step over with the left foot, twist behind you. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Try that. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Okay? Okay. We'll call that a half tornado. Okay? So we want to teach that move if you can. It's very simple. You could get them interested. There's other versions of it. You could do a full tornado, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6. So a full spin. Ba, 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 ba. Okay? Another version you can do of the half tornado is something we call an abyss. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? So, ba, 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 ba. Okay? The abyss being inverting the foot to the other side of the ball. Ball brush step over, twist. There, go. Again, this motion here, we call that an abyss. So if you add that abyss in, Abel, you think you can do that? Over, step over, twist, abyss, go. Good. Good. And add a little jump in. Ba, 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 ba. Okay. Now, those are just versions of it. Really just show them the half tornado. Ba, ba, ba. Okay? That's an inverted foot that you grab it with, not toe down like this. Okay? Another move that we like to show them is a wraparound. Going to be ball brush, step over around the back, reach with the left foot and do a left-footed cross turn. Get back online. Now watch it fast. It's cool. Okay? Ba, 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 ba. Okay? Ball brush, step over, around the back. Okay. And what is that around? Whoa! What is that around the back motion? Let's see. 1, 2, around the back, unwrap. We call it a wraparound. Go. Okay, hold up. Now, last one we'll show for trainers for the summer as a hokey pokey. Ball brush, step over, poke, reverse scissor, and hop skip. Okay, so it's going to be ba, 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 ba. Okay, ball brush, step over, poke, reverse scissor, hop skip is going to be pull it this way, but step this foot that way. Okay, ball brush, step over, ball brush, step over, poke, 1, 2, poke, reverse scissor, right? And then we call this a hop skip, where you're going to bring from 30 degrees to -5 degrees. Okay? So, ball brush, step over, poke, scissor. Close the groin, the turning radius, from 30 degrees to -5 degrees. Right? Okay, and you go forward. So, watch. Abel. Nice and light. Very nice, okay? You need to learn that before the summer. Finally, a simple move we do a lot of is a cyclone. Okay? All I did was fake my shot. Here's my shot. Right? Here's my shot. Toe down, heel up. But instead I overcook it like a Cruyff turn. Okay, after I overcook it, I invert it like that abyss I showed you earlier. Pull and rotate to the left, spin out, take the shot. Okay, here it is fast. Go, fast, 2 of them, or do 1. Okay, ball. That's the idea. Okay. We could do later, it's like tsunamis. We'll work on that. Just make sure, for purposes of the summer, we get those basic ones. Last thing we're going to show you is going to be shooting. Let me see that.
Hey man, so I tell you what, Abel, you don't have to say anything, but show me
Check
some
here.
skill while we're at it. Just show me some ball stuff, man.
last thing we're going to work on, you need to know how to teach shooting in the summer. There's certain specialty skills classes that are self-explanatory, like defending, not going to be hard for you to catch on, how to teach that, juggling, subjective, lots of things that aren't too difficult, but shooting is difficult. We have a patented way of doing it. You need to try to understand how to explain it from the get-go. We're going to use Abel today, who has great form and has learned the Avila technique really well. First of all, the point of contact on the foot, if we show Abel's foot, we're not going to be in the soft tissue area here. We're going to use this big bone here. Okay?
What's the importance of barefoot?
We make sure that you teach all the classes barefoot when they're shooting classes so that we can manipulate the metatarsals and bend their toes down. Like if he bends his knee up, brings it up, we can get him to bend his toes down, his ankle down, instead of like, like a lot of kids, as they shoot, they bring their ankle forward like this. Bring your ankle forward. So you teach them, to flex it down. But we want to hit it on the inside on this big bone and not here on the soft tissue. Just by doing that alone, the kid could get 20 more yards on his shot. So the point of contact on shooting is inside and high, right there, high and inside. So watch my shot. You'll notice I hit it up here by the sock. It's high and inside, okay? That's what we're looking for, high and inside. Okay, watch. Okay, all the way up here, that's where you hit it, okay?
One more time, on the outside, from this angle.
High and inside, so it's up here, okay? I know that we see these big sports companies try to teach us like there's some type of zone in the middle or all this marketing, or people say, smack it with the laces, but these are just common myths that coaches, use to kind of teach in mass. The reality is it's got to be inside on that bone, up high, okay? That's where you're going to get a flush mount. And it's important to understand the point of contact. Okay, when we're launching from a horizontal surface, the most powerful launch possible is a 90-degree angle, okay? So we want to teach that 90-degree angle, okay? Even NASA agrees with this. They land a spaceship on the moon. I think they know what they're talking about, okay? So when we're hitting the ball, he's always going to use 90-degree angles. We call it the cup of tea position, okay? When he goes back, he never compromises like this and stands like a pelican. It's always going to be there. As he goes back to the wall, his toenails will touch this wall, but he keeps that angle at 90 degrees. Okay, again, because the most powerful launch from a horizontal surface is 90 degrees. Go, bam. Good. And cup of tea means I could put a cup of tea there. Okay, so your first 20 minutes in a shooting session is going to be showing them the angles, showing them how to flex the foot down. Flex meaning ankle straight down. The toes underneath the ankle underneath the shin underneath the knee. It's all straight and vertical, okay? Once they get into this cup of tea position, they're allowed to come across like that. We don't want to see them leading with the knee and the hip, okay? Like a karate, some type of karate kick, okay? Okay, it's gonna be straight and from the shin across, okay? And we don't want to see them lead like David Beckham. They're not trying to curve the ball. This has to be vertical, ankle down, ankle underneath the shin, toes underneath the ankle. Toes bent back to the wall, okay? Swing, across, and across, okay? That's what we're looking for, that motion. Again. Okay, okay, again. Okay, and he comes across. Now we introduce the whole idea of the point of contact. We call this sole to the ceiling. Okay, so use the phrase sole to the ceiling. As he starts walking across the room, he no longer has the wall as a reference point. So he's going to stop bringing his toes up, and I'll say, hey, sole to the ceiling. Watch. Sole to ceiling, go. Keep walking across, sole to the ceiling, higher, good, go. Sole to the ceiling, across cup of tea position, across. Now, sometimes they'll stand like a pelican, go. Okay, he's not a stork, he's not a crane, he's not a bird. It's a table leg on a table. Okay, don't let them do that. Go. Sometimes you'll see recoil, where they'll hit it forward and back. It's not a gun. It's not a Hollywood movie. You're not going to kick back. It's just bam. Watch, swing, and staccato. Bah! Nope. No, he undid the frame. It's got to be 90-degree angles. Go. Do it again. A real one. Bam. Again. Just bam. Okay, no, you opened and closed. Close. Yeah, that's it. Just keep it closed at all times. You also don't want to do that. He showed an example of that earlier. Okay, where you go too far. Watch. Do a bad one. Okay, see how he opened up? He's not trying to do a punt to the sky like this. Okay, it's just 90 degrees. Bam. Go. Across. Very nice. Okay, sole to the ceiling. Lock it down. Hit it on the inside. Across. Swing it faster this time. Show him quicker swing. Cross. A little higher. Food's falling off the table. There we go. Very good. All right. So next drill would be a point of contact drill. The idea is that he does pick the right spot. So plant foot next to the ball, not back here. He must finish with his knee in the air. This is a very important point. You will be quizzed on it. Knee finishes in the air, comes across. Go. Soft. And across. Go. Soft. And across. Soft. Anybody can hit the ball hard. Anybody. It's hard to hit the ball softly, okay? Get them to hit the right point of contact, okay, to get the sole back, sole to the ceiling, bring it up to the cup of tea position, bring the rotary momentum across and not forward. Okay, it's not a gun, you don't recoil, it's just one fall swoop. Okay, bam. A little harder now. Nice, and you can watch Abel really hit a hard one now. Abel, come right here. Okay, watch his hip as it comes around his knee. Don't look at the ball, look at his knee. Okay, again, Abel. Keep it low.
I have no shoes on this.
That's fine. Turns his hip and his knee are going to come around in a 90-degree position. Bam. Okay, come from this side, Coach. Herman. Okay, watch his knee come around. There it is. Toe down. He hits it on the inside, high and inside. Okay, sole to the ceiling. Get your leg back, swing it. We call that critical velocity. Quick, yes. And now come around a little bit to show that rotary momentum. He swung it back really nicely. Okay, very nice, very nice. One more good one. Set it up. Now, the next one is you finish the drill with an actual moving ball. So the person will actually roll the ball, step to it, okay, and hit it. Ready? Go, roll it, step to it, finish in the air. Woo! That's what we're talking about. Okay, one more. Roll it. Okay, step to it, finish in the air, come around hard, sole to the ceiling. Okay, thank you. All right, thanks, Abel.
Yeah.
All right, that's shooting. Make sure you got that down. If you're not meticulous, if you don't show the details, you're out of here. Otherwise, I hope you get this stuff down and welcome.
All right. This is a black hole. Okay, do it again. Black hole. Give me a clean one, really fast.